Hello, gamer. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I am excited. I was just fishing and I wanted to show off my cool fishing outfit. And also, look, new stream buddy for this expansion. I love this fishing gear. It's so good. But we're not here today to play Fisher. We're here today to play Dark Knight. In the end, I went for... Yeah, it's so cute, right? In the end, I went for the Frey outfit, because... reasons. Because I love it, mostly. So, let's get going. I've been looking forward to this so much. It's really like the expansions are, it's like saying like I love all my children equally, but Shadowbringers really has a special place in my heart. Is it better than Endwalker? I don't know, but I think playing Endwalker made it even better and made the messages in there hit even harder. So yeah, it really is my favorite child. Yeah, so let's go see what Tatar is up to. Good news, Dwache. We've had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. A path I doubt we'd ever have found had the Ironworks and the Suns not added their number to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking on the rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. Then we'd better go and give them a hand. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time to lose. There's a boat in the North Silverchair waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. I love that we're playing Dark Knight. I really like Dark Knight. It's not very powerful, but I saw a tweet today that said like, you know, don't complain about Dark Knight not being powerful enough. Dark Knight is about looking cool while eating complete shit. Which I think is very fair. But to put that into perspective, I heard that like the current most difficult raid tier like the first fight of it was cleared solo by a warrior player. So warrior is definitely the best one, I think. And that is completely fucking crazy that it was soloed. That is just like, I cannot even fathom that. But, you know, it's all relative, and I'm having fun. Yeah, warrior is just like, oh, hello, you are a healer, just DPS the whole fight, because I will not need you at all. It's insane self-healing abilities. It's a little bit nuts. I need to level my warrior more. I only have it at level 54, I think. But, you know, I leveled all the tanks, so I'm a bit sick of leveling tanks at the moment. But we're gonna be having some fun with Dark Knight. Heading to the survey site, madam. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Yeah, let's go. I love the Crystal Tower music.
Look how many people there are!
I love Tataru's voice.
Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
Woo! Hmm.
And thank you for showing me the dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant! There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you!
Your spirited accounts always comes in welcome.
We did everything right! Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this!
Payment Filia.
Your time has not yet come.
Kitty crimes going on upstairs. Who could that be? This area is gorgeous.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
What do you mean, this time of night?
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply.
Yeah.
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
Porsche's been poisoned one too many times.
I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
I know, right? They really stepped their game up. Also, just a fun little detail. The guy we were just talking to, he looks like almost an exact copy of the guy we talked to, like, the first cutscene almost of this game. Yeah, he was. He looks like him. Hello? Are there people here?
Halt!
Benui!
Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Limsa. That's my starting city.
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Yeah, she's a dancer. Uh-oh. Looks like you shouldn't have been out there at night as well.
Everything all right, Captain?
Hey, you're that guy.
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
Okay.
Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons. I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you were still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are the other scions here?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, for in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Interesting.
such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
It sure as hell is. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you have done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catalyst, one of the people I would like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him and his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. Well, I'm not gonna do that because I'm just gonna teleport. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Bragi, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough? Crystal clear. Ah, very good. I concede the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you've finished making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. This guy. I am already attuned, but okay. Yay. Alright. Let's go to the markets first. It's a lovely toga you got on. Oh, so pretty! Oh. They really went all out with this expansion. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Welcome. My name is Bragi, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. Oh yeah, same here. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for elves such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. I'm actually an Elizan. Must be a dialect I'm not familiar with. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a Hume. And the taller one is an elf, like you. The sturdy individual over there is a Galgant, while the one with the horns is a Drawn. And then you have the large scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune. Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they've floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you ever find yourself confused by local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. I love it so much. It's just like, what did you just call me? Ah, yes, my home away from home when I was still, when Endwalker wasn't out. I spent so much time here doing the crafting. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources, and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll be handed to you on a plate like those Whoa. Like those Ulmoran layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folks I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. Once you've aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Catalyst and I'll find you a niche here in the Crystalline Mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. That's the wrong button. Not me just blasting this poor lady. Oh. It's a library! A big old library. Hello. Excuse me, miss. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and, well, well, what I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll even. A scrap of scribbled on parchment. My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin, at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manners of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? This guy needs to lay off the coffee. Oh ho, so you've an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives, I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment and I'll fetch it for you. Is that an insult? Duache assigned baby level reading skills by him. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable. On with the lesson then. 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadow Keeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrend, and Norvrend alone, spared the fate of erasure. These illustrations are so beautiful. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvrend's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or, if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. He just wants a friend. Alright. Yeah. Minfilia really saved their butts. So, this is the world where Ardbert and his, the Warriors of Darkness hailed from. Ardbert was the main guy. And this is where she went, after we said goodbye to her. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yeah, here's my notes, dude. Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origins, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the selfsame one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. You've done as I requested, and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time to I fulfill my half of the bargain, and explain what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters, however. I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. Just like that? Then Grahatia is... I'm not familiar with that name. Is there something I should know? An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Mayhap we can revisit that mystery another time. For now, I think it best that we focus on the present. Let's go inside the Crystal Tower. Not so pretty.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind. Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow scions. To put it simply, they are here in the first. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time. As for your companions, however, Y'shtola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5. Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well. As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch. Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
Hello, welcome. This is Shadowbringers. I hope you don't mind spoilies. Woo. And the new stream buddy. No, she's way too nice for that. What have they been doing all this time?
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future. That which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the First was rejoined with the Source.
That's
This
bad.
collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die. And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the First, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
Aye, but I'll see you keep that promise.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
Sure. Sin Eaters. The Crystarium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at the Pendants. Which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my own introduction to their wares. Come along. Are you a scary monster composed of light? That would be cool, though. Enough waffle, Exarch. Let's go. Sorry if I'm a bit impatient, I just already know all of this.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. Aught you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here.
Oh, you're gonna love this cutscene. I think it's this one.
Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough. Each nation once minted its own coins, but was all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Tombstones. Though they look like mobile phones, it's tombstones.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your homeworld. Avan Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here! Of course I'm here! What amusements do you have for me today?
Hi.
My dear Feo Ul, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine lady is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from her home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails?
Why, you want them?
Just as I thought! Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Sne Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand.
Well, if the Crystal Exarch says it's okay.
Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap her message to your friends in the Source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Send a message to Tataru.
Consider it done.
As you heard, that was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
Oh yeah, also a fun little detail. All Fae creatures in this world go by they, them. Which I think is pretty neat. Yeah. Let's go to our room where nothing will happen. I want to look at your clothes first. Oh wait, no, I know this outfit. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here in the Pendants for the duration of your stay, to make use of as you see fit. I love it. When you are ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene in the ocular anon. I believe that covers all of the practical concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Dwashe. We are denied the comforting blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. Him. A pleasure to meet you, miss, and welcome to your new home in the Pendants. Your room is ready if you'd care to retire. Sure. Let's go to bed. Who's that? Hey, I know that guy.
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the source.
It's my guy. The warrior of darkness?
What? Did you just... You can hear me? Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source, a daft one, looking back.
Parallels.
If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source, and try to hasten their goddamned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the First. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness. Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood? 100 years. 100 long years.
That's rough, buddy. He's a ghost.
My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that? You were summoned to save the first. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who try to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's-forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
I love how she just sleeps with her armor on top of the covers. It's been a day though, so... What are jammies? Oh man, I love our bird. His voice actor is so good too. Oh. Alright, Crystal Exarch. What's happening? Mr. Slushay, the Exarch awaits you within. Let's go.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest.
I had a ghostly visitor.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know.
He doesn't believe me.
Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrand, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armorang. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calusia or Armorang? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you have made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
Alright, do we want to go find Alphino first, or do we want to go find Alize first? Don't say that! Oh shit. So Alize first or Alphino? Who wants to see the boy? Who wants to see the girl? The boy? Alright, let's go search for the boy. You will visit Alphino and Calusia then. Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here is a letter of introduction. Present it to Genmai, the master of beasts at Temenos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alphino, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Okay. My baby boy. He is my little baby boy. Da, 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 da. Your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Being nice to you. Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Amaro for passage to Calusia. I will pick you out a friendly whelp. Not a chocobo, then. It's so good, right? A chocobo? Do you hail from one of Northrend's more isolated settlements, perchance? I hear there are a few places where they ride little elves. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that grey fellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you're plainly unaccustomed to riding a Maro, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Yamara Lounge. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts. They're so cute. They're like a bird-camel hybrid. Look at that face! Oh my god, I love them so much. That one's just sleepy. Don't worry about it. He's my little skrunkly. You want to fly in Amara to Colusia? Well, I suppose if Master Genmai is going with you. Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mount shortly. Blah blah blah. Let's go.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Colusia. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It's the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Yulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale and was once an ally in our battle against abominations. For years, the Yulmorian elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Yulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. Okay. I'm glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. If you head south along the coast, you'll eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crustarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Eivor. Eivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Kalusha and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amara until you're ready to return. I wanna see my little boy. Where is he? Hey guy. Meow meow. What, you after a fish crab? I think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you've got a taste for him. Enjoy time. Ooh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. Now what is it I can do for you? Can't say as there's been many... Whoa. Can't say as there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphino, eh? Aye, I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Yulmar's richer than all of Norvryn put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. Aye, I can hazard a guess as to where he is now, getting a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path here. You're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there, and I'll see that Alphinoid joins you. Yeah. Finally breaking out of his rich boy role. Hello. This your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Mead. A fine choice. And what'll you be paying with? Well, now, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear, I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors. So we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find, then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can lace about here as long as you like. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I will do your busy work quest. It's okay. Let's get some Dark Knight action. Woohoo! Truly, my most terrible foe I've faced yet. No response. Maybe you need to knock louder. No response. Perhaps the occupant is hard of hearing. You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Well, that's rude. They've just hoofed it. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yulmore? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house. Gate Town.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, it's him! It's the boy!
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alfino, you really are a dear.
When we're older.
I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
Hug. You want a hug?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
We thought we'd lost you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
You know it.
And so we take to the road once more.
Bing dong dong. Baby boy acquired. Hey, Alfie. Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west, and then cross a small bridge. Yes! Oh, I'm going way too far. Oops. Calusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. I had a similar impression of the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think that whatever calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! Get away from me! Over there. Quickly, someone's in trouble. Let's go! Sin Eater! Oh, thank the fates, you... Look out! Forgiven cowardice. Are you okay, ma'am? My poor heart. Thank you, young miss. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings, but I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you all right, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now, I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. "'Tis as the lady says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmar's shadow." Oh shit, no! It scrolled automatically, I forgot. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Something about them getting attacked by Sin Eaters, probably. Brief history, then. 'Twas not long after the flood swallowed the better part of the world that the Sin Eaters first appeared, some beastly, some beauteous. Yet regardless of their forms, all seem incapable of speech and are all driven by the same insatiable appetite for mortal ether. They are predators, and we are their prey. Kalusha suffers from far fewer attacks than most regions, but even so, the list of the Sin Eater's victims grows longer by the day. A tragedy without end. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. He's such an artsy boy. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Ah, I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
She's not here to compete. Leave her be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all! Yulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu! Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Fish, is it?
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged, and so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the City of Splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Butt bread.
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gate Town, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let us just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Do not perceive me. Ma'am. Okay. Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Yulmar's current ruler came into power. And yet, from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I've tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gate Town and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, are you? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yulmar's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gate Town's not much to look at, but at least it's safe, and the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted. Well, I like my room in the Crystarium way more. Large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, meal, you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth. Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? Extremely subtle metaphor for capitalism here. I had to think a lot about it. You've seen what Gate Town has to offer. These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of meal and believe Yulmar is the answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. You disapprove of these people's way of life? Oh. Disapprove? It frustrates me, certainly. That's only part of it, though. The whole situation makes me uneasy. Not that it matters. However unjust this system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forgo Yulmar's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town, and so hamlets and fields across the land are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Yulmar's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. I am not so naive to think there is some miraculous solution to all of this, yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Ylmer's Gate. 'Tis fortunate that you arrived when you did, Dwache. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There's a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo, they are called, though you and I know them as Sahagan. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos and barely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tatara took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular, and when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Ylmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. I know, right? Might you help me make the challenge? Oh, exchange, probably. Keep forgetting. Excellent, I should be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Moshamoa, my supplier in right. Come, it's just to the northwest of here. Who's that guy? Kitty cats. Is there something I can do for your friend? Good day to you, Moshamoa. This is my associate, Dwache. We are here to collect the produce I purchased. Eh? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know of no such person. Mistel Lad, short blue hair. No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed... Confound it. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point to the south side of town, and I shall take west. Evil. Let's see. Aha, there you are. You have located your quarry. Dwache, any sign of him? You have a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape. Hey dude, what are you doing? How dare you? Fuck off. To Colibri. Stop attacking me.
There you are.
You little criminal.
The thief who claimed the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kai Shear, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
That's not who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then?
He's so cute.
Is that?
Oh.
I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble. Come on. They may need our help.
Run, run, run. No. Hello. Are you okay, sir? That should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy, mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. I thought for certain that I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristal. I was invited into Yulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their tastes, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vaughtry's city. Within days they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I wanted to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamn ocean. From up there? How were you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment. Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vaughtry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Yulmore, his word is law. The more I hear about Yulmore, the more determined I am to see what awaits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of his chilly coastal air. Away into the city? Nope. Pray accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I am able at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach, but since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Yulmoran elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince the people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided, but I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession, and I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. They say kindness is its own reward, but Tristel has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant. Then it is settled. All we need to do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. Alphino Clown Hater confirmed. I don't want to hunt my mark now, though. Leave me alone. Wow, rude. There's something called internalized hatred. Don't make fun of him. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We've welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint. Portraits, at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh-ho! I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Aha, ho-ho, Flecks of paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us and we'll put those talents to the test. And who's this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant. She whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her or not at all. Parasite, then. We shall leave her fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our last vacant space, we retire to Yulmer's sweet embrace. mercy me, the meal! We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Welcome, welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No? Not even a single tear? Moving right along then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is in the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice loud voice. The clerk will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folks off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means, take your time. But why waste another moment? Go, enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. The Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. It's very... a lot. I do like it though, but it's a lot. Welcome to Yulmore, fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphino, an artist, and this is Duache, my assistant. Ah yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Yulmore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free or accept work as a general laborer. I see. And might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? The two patrons, actually. Chai-Nuz and Dualia Chai. Or Dulia Chai. A Mistel couple whom most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Yulmoran citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. What have we here? Alphino Artist. Dwache Artist Assistant. To be employed in the service of Lord Chainuz and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before... Huh? Oh dear. You smell hideous! Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Rude. Proceed directly to the delousery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume liberally. Once you've made yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornen, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. I hadn't realized we were so aromatic. Or Alphino. I don't smell yucky. It's the smell of heroism. You rinse yourself clean in the stream of water. Looking brand new. Or the same. I smell like flowers now. You apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fills the air. Oh, you showered and dressed already, have you? Is it not... that is to say... it seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? All these options are so funny. I went for hurry up and shower stinky the last time, so I'm gonna choose one of the other ones. What would Estinian say? Good gods, you will mention nothing of this. Swear to me. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons then? My baby boy. You're looking to present yourself to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city's laid out then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. This layer here is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters. And above that, you've got the canopy, which is where the free citizens of Yulmore spend their days. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dame's parlor. They'll be in there, like as not. Run, 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 run. So many stairs. Luckily, Dwashe has excellent stamina. Stamina. Hello. Oh, I love her design.
Oh, who's this then?
She's so cute.
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Oh, goodness me! What an adorable boy! That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
Yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful! Welcome to Yulmore.
Alphino, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis she who best understands my work. With her unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations.
I love the little voice he's doing.
Once the picture is begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than her being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city she has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for her priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on her behalf.
Oh, did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have her wish. She shall be free to roam to her heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
I see who wears the pants in that relationship. I know, right? Now you've the opportunity to experience Yulmore. I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city, top to bottom. In other words, I would start with the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls, perhaps. Such places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share local gossip with a friendly visitor. I would appreciate it, of course, if you could share any discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. Oh, hello there. A fresh register, are we? You seem a little lost. Well, 'tis lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have run into my attendant on your wanderings, would you? Big strong lad, long hair, tight back. He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realized I'd dropped my handkerchief, and now I've been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I would be obliged if you could pass on this message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. Well, miss, I know it's really hard, but you could also, like, move it yourself and see if you can find him, but... Oh, hello! Wicked! Why, that was way too close. Thank you, friend. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. The winds must have blown it over the edge, but luckily it caught on something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. You risk your life for a scrap of cloth? It's not just a scrap of cloth, not if it belongs to her. I would risk my life and more to spare my mistress but a single moment of sadness. When I first came to Yulmore, I thought only of improving my lot in life. There was so much more to this city than wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. The residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has been ever so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in Kalusha where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I might have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to greet my lady. Once she hears of your deeds, you'll be witness to her generosity firsthand. Turbo Sib. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet. I must return to her immediately. My attendant told me everything. I'm so very grateful that you were there to offer your assistance. You value him highly, then. As if he were a member of my own family. I could not live the wonderful life I lead without him. We free citizens owe the bonded our unending gratitude. Mayhap in another society, our different standing would breed prejudice or resentment, but in Yulmore a most glorious measure is in place to avert such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registrations, all our property, financial, intellectual, or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has an almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you'll excuse us, I must see that what the markets have to offer as a reward for the return of my handkerchief. Oh, and I've not forgotten you, of course, our courageous messenger turned rescuer. Okay. All of this talk of relying on the bonded, and I haven't given thought as to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Then you really must visit the beehive. It's always buzzing with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tista B usually has her seat near the entrance. She will gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. Ooh. Hello. Welcome to the beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when folk are new to our happy colony. It's the nervous fluttering, you see, always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at your ease, eh? A quick game of high or low. It's simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Sure. Let's play. Good for you. No time like the present, I say. Three cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Now, what's your call? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? High. You're going with high then? Right, let's see what we got. My cards add up to 9, and you have a total of 18. I win! Congratulations, your guess was right. Usually I'd concede defeat at this point, but what do you say to a rematch? One more win, then we'll talk about that favor. Alright, since you're twisting my arm, let's go. Three cards for you, 3 cards for me, blah blah blah. Hi. To 10. I have way more. 22. Well, well, would you look at that? I think you've got a knack for this, newcomer. Congratulations. Victory is yours, as is the prize I promised. Come whisper in my ear then, and don't be shy. Tell Tista what she can do for you. That's all? How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. They say Lord Vothri was born with the power to command them, which means no Yulmoran need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Atharn over there. There's not that merry sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. Hey guy. What's that? New to Yulmur, you say? Ah ha ha ha, only just arrived and already you're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I tell you what, you hop on the stage and give us a dance first, and then we shall have our talk. Okay. I need to go up there. Fully armored sexy dance. That's the way. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Now that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on the stage anytime you'd like. So, what was it you wanted to ask me? Ah, yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Yulmoran army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us about 20 years ago now, when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got his way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say they've become something of an ally to Yulmur, no longer an enemy to be feared. And yet elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Pah! A toast to Lord Vothri. Let's go back to Alfie. I do like that I'm just... Dwasha is just this fully armored person with a huge sword on her back. And they believe that she's a painter's assistant. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city so soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphino has yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. Looking so fancy! Oh my god, look at him! I've put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me! That last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? I don't recall this part of the artistic process. exactly. The lad's an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly... Well, I'd not. That is to say, as long as you... just make sure you give the lad time to prepare. We know who'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? Lady Chai has a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. More. Jump. Boop. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thoric. Here's a list of symptoms, and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. Okay. Hee hee, you'll need medicines, tonics, potions. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No, no medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised, and even then the voice may never heal completely. Hee hee hee, poor little songbird. Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder, or simply silence her chirps? Oh ho, your face! You didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. Oh, you might see one or two unfortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. A town of nightmares it is. Not for this ship's rat, oh no, no. I am content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Did you get my medicine? So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time. I'm sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave. I always thought that was such a weird nickname, my pet. Feels a little yucky. But you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the streets. You are too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Vothry and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Or mayhap you think it is a step too far? No, You would do that for me? Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Ascension? Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them into celestial paradise. It is through Lord Vothry that we learned this truth. It is through Lord Vothry's grace that the free people of Yulmur are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Vothry truly is a great man, isn't he? Now, if you will excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. It's a little weird. It's a lot weird, actually. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, yeah. So... Huh. Yeah. I don't know, pet just makes me think of a dog. Let's see what he's painting. Oh, that's beautiful, Alfie! He really is. It is good to see you back. You were taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I began sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chies appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations have gleaned thus far? So, Lord Vothry boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. As for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put in mind of that apothecary and his ominous remarks. If so many folk have entered the city over the years, then where do they go? That's a good question. I take my eyes off of you for one moment and you're chattering away with that assistance of yours. Am I to assume the outline is done then? What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alphino. Where's your artistic interpretation? It should evoke images of affluence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Lord Chai, you stated that this portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. Yours being a joyous union, it would seem to me that a realistic portrayal... Realistic? I don't want realism. I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees, to make people cry out in amazement. Now fetch a blank canvas and... I say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our Lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who'd watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. A malcontent? How dreadful. And this man is to face sentencing? That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the Emergent. The level above is where Lord Vothri resides. Ordinarily, you would be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The crown lift will take you up there. We had better not dawdle then. We're almost at the end of Alfie's questline, so we're just gonna finish this one up and then be done with stream for tonight.
That's him. That's Vothri.
That sure is a character design.
He is attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12.
It's our guy!
Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Dvorthree, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us, claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that! What then is a man of mercy to do? But offer the sinner another way to show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin Eaters are part of Yulmore's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
It is true that Kaishir won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by a desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out, I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
Do I share about the
People call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could.
What?
Can you walk?
I think so. Did that little worm just insult me? I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Okay, dude, you do that. Oh, who's that guy? Yep. Poor dude. Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again, though it is probably best we leave the island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulmore. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the Sin Eaters will find few allies in Calusia. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Kaishir, I've done you a grave disservice. You were hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risk inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you still stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Vothri wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I am certain we can find work for you there, if you are willing. No, that would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but you must promise you'll be careful. The Yulmorans may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. Alphino! Lord and Lady Chai. What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alphino. Now I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted for me. There was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I will speak with Lord Vothri and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I'm sorry, Lady Chai. There are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left to us to the fullest? Pray, press me no further. We are leaving. But I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind as to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I have witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Aww. I do like her. a little bit. I think you can even get a minion of her. I want a little Dulia Chai following me around. Yeah! I think China's wanted a depiction of him, like, ripped as Rambo, hair flowing in the wind. Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sordid endeavor. Whilst not quite the joyous outcome I had hoped for, our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Vothry and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. This is far from over. You have business with the Crystal Exarch? Yeah, I do. Ah, it is good to be back among friends. In such company, I can finally turn my thoughts to the future. But ere we discuss all we have learned and begin planning for our next step, I think it best that you visit Alizé. Her familiarity with Amareng will no doubt provide us invaluable insight, and besides, I know she is as eager to see you as I was. Bring a smile to her face, Dwashe. Woo! Alright. So, that is whole of Alphino's questline. And next time, which will be tomorrow, we're gonna we're gonna do Alizé's questline and then continue the story after that. It was a good start. Again, there are certain character design decisions where I'm just like, maybe could have been done differently. You know? But that's just me though. But I really like the story so far. Yeah. Well, I promise not all of the Sin Eaters that you see are Sexy Lady Gold Bikini. There's also Sexy Lady Fully Armored. Big ol' fucking lion. Yucky horror from beyond the Abyssal Rift. And Craig. One of these things is not like the other. Yeah, it was a good stream. Lots of fun finally getting into my favorite expansion. Even though I think I need to play Endwalker one more time to see if that is my favorite or not. But so far, this one is my favy. So yeah. We're gonna be back with more tomorrow. And it's gonna be lots of fun. So excited to see my baby Goyle as well. So yeah. Thank you for being here. And see you next time. Goodbye, goodbye.